2022. In order to showcase the significant scientific contributions made by CSIR in its long journey throughout the years, we are highlighting the success stories of CSIR every week in the form of posters, popular stories, blogs, and through the science talks and webinars, which we have started since January 2021. Today's webinar is the sixth in the series from CSIR and first from CLRI, and is organized to share a success story of one of our research laboratories specialized in leather technologies, which is Central Leather Research Institute, CLRI, situated in Chennai. So today's webinar also holds the importance and celebration of National Science Day, which is celebrated every year in India on 28th February to mark the notable invention, the Raman effect, by one of the greatest physicists of India, Sir C.V. Raman. For his discovery, Sir C.V. Raman was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. The main objective of celebrating this National Science Day is to bring awareness among the people about the importance of the science in our daily life, aligning with this year's theme for National Science Day, which is Future of STI Impacts on Education, Skills and Work. We are here to showcase the importance of scientific contributions of leather for promotion of skills and generating employment opportunities by CLRI. So CLRI, a premier research institute on leather science and technology, was established nearly 74 years back in 1948 with prime objectives to meet the needs of the leather and allied sectors through research, technology development and transfer, training and industrial support. A very common day-to-day activity in which the institute is contributing in recent times is getting an indigenous footwear sizing system in India, which is itself a great initiative for the Indian community. So today, among the dignitaries, we have with us Director General CSIR Dr. Shekhar C. Mande. So right now he has not joined. Hopefully he will be joining in few seconds or few minutes. Director CSIR-CLRI Dr. K.J. Sriram, Vice President Super Tannery Limited Shri Suresh Babu Yadav, Shri Habib Hussain, CEO AVT Leathers, Mrs. Khyati Nair, Manager Gujarat Rural Industries Marketing Corporation, Government of Gujarat, Shri P.V. Sambha Sivarao, MD Al Pharma Limited, Kenya, Shri K. Murali, Director, Central Footwear Training Institute, Chennai, India. I am with you, Dr. Shikha, scientist from the Science Communication Directorate at CSIR headquarters, and I welcome you all for the talk today on leather for employment. So to initiate with, I request Director CLRI, Dr. K.J. Sriram, to deliver the opening remarks for the session. Over to you, Dr. Sriram, please.
Thank you, Dr. Shikha. While we wait for Dr. Mande to join in, I add my own words of welcome to all of you here to give a better link between the institute and the panelists here. Let me start off with Sheikh Habib Hussain, the chairman of the Research Council of CLRI. He also was a former chairman of the Leather Skill Council, and that brought the two institutions very much together. And whatever we have done today in the skilling aspects is something which we chalked out a few years back. So having said that, the next person that I would like to talk about is Suresh Babu Yadav. He did a footwear designing program with us and is today the Vice President of the Super Tannery Limited. So not just an alumnus turning into a Vice President, he is also now a good opportunity for the institute to send most of its trainees to be a part of his company. Then I have Dr. P. Sambha Sivarao, a very, very distinguished alumnus of the AC College of Technology. He won the first ever Distinguished Alumnus Award, which was given last year by the university. He is also recognized with the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman. And of course, he's the MD of Alpha Rama Limited, which was already spoken about. Mr. Sambha Sivarao is one of the best things that CLRI can talk about as an alumnus outside of India. Mr. Murali is again our alumnus and today heads the Central Footwear Training Institute. We have a very organic relationship with this institution in that we work together in ensuring the skilling that is required for this country. Going to Ms. Khyati Nair, she is the manager leather for the Gujarat organization called as GRIMCO. We have a unique program with them in empowering women especially in product manufacture, and a cooperative system is a good example of a cooperative system that CLRI has been propagating ever since its start. I would say that the very standardization of the Kolhapuri chappal, if a couple of decades back, was again a cooperative movement led by this institute. Before I leave on to all of these speakers, let me just highlight this institute and how it came up. A philanthropist, Alagappa Chettiar, in 1945 decided that he would start an engineering college. But Alagappa Chettiar was totally different. He said he will not start programs in mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, but a program on chemical engineering, textiles, and leather. And in 1945, they started the chemical engineering program, and subsequently in 46, the leather and textile programs. This year, we are celebrating the 75 years of the Department of Leather Technology of the university. At that time, Sri Lakshmana Swami Mudaliar was the Vice Chancellor of the University of Madras, and he worked with his brother, twin brother in the Union Cabinet to ensure that a research organization for leather was set up in Chennai. Thus, within 1 year of the formation of independent India, the Minister of Commerce at the industry at that time, Sri Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, laid the foundation stone for CLRI. Thus was born an academy research industry partnership, which today the Western world and others are talking about as success for education. 2 years from now, when CLRI gets to 75, we will also be celebrating the 75 years of this partnership. Now, what has happened through this partnership is that we not only generated the manpower that was required by this industry, but also ensured that we provided the manpower who were ready to take technology to the industry. As CLRI worked towards converting a raw hides and skins exporter, a trader at that point of time, to a global footwear manufacturer and exporter. Today, we are the second largest exporter in footwear. The technology was translated through our alumnus itself. So the technology taking up by the industry was facilitated through our alumnus. During the last 5 years, the contribution of this institute in various skilling programs is to be said, if I were to talk about it, we have skilled about 17,000 people, about 300 odd bachelor's and master's students have come out, about 50 odd PhDs have come out of leather and footwear science programs of this institute. And most importantly, as of today, 60% of the qualified manpower across the globe is an alumnus of this institute. We have a 100% placement for our bachelor's program and a near 100% placement for our master's program. And from the skilling programs for which we have associated with various skill development agencies, and also we have the NSSC led qualification packs, we have about 80% people going towards wage-oriented placements in the industry, and 5% of them becoming entrepreneurs themselves. So this is what the training programs of this institute does. CSIR is very proud of this organization in that it's one of those institutions which, while providing the technology for the leather sector, keeping it still the global provider of technologies, is also into employment generation. Not only in India, but we hope we will be also of importance in the rest of the world, especially Africa. With this few words, I now leave it to the other panelists to say what they think CLRI has done and what CLRI can do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for introducing our panelists and our audience about our speakers and CSIR-CLRI today. So I should also inform our friends who have joined with us online that we are getting this program live streamed on CSIR India Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter web pages. So audience who are having any queries can post their queries in the chat box of social media pages, and those will be taken at the end during the discussion with the panelists. So till now, we are seeing that DG is still busy and he is unable to join with us right now. So let us start with the talk. And our first speaker for the webinar is Shri Suresh Babu Yadav. He is one of the alumni of CSIR-CLRI who did his footwear program and is currently the Vice President of Super Tannery Limited. So may I now request Shri Suresh Babu Yadav to please present his talk. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shika. Habib Saab, Dr. Sriram, Mr. Sambha Sivarao, so Dr. Madan, Mr. Murali, Madam Gayatri, thank you so much. At the outset, let me take a few seconds to thank the organizers for having given me this opportunity to express my gratitude and appreciation to my alma mater, Central Leather Research Institute in Chennai. Coming from an agriculture family background, I wondered what the future holds for me. So I came from near Ambur, my village is there. I lost my father when I was 2 years old. So I don't know what to do. Will be confined to the dry lands of my village? To be able to afford any experience the life of my friends in other cities? Would I get an opportunity to explore the world? So many questions in my mind. But there was no clear answer. It was at this juncture, I was guided by my few relatives and friends who suggested me taking up leather and leather product manufacturing as a career. After multiple inquiries, I was convinced that if I had to start a career and be successful in leather and leather products, then it's from CLRI that I have to begin. I joined CLRI to undergo a diploma program, Design and Development Center. The rest is history. What I impressed about CLRI, when I entered in this campus on the first day, where it is serene atmosphere, first time I feel my life. Warm of staff members. They are very respectful, polite, and humble. This first time in my life, I came from agriculture background. I feel so great. I was very speechless. CLRI offered window of opportunities in the field of leather and leather products. Being a national product, the challenges leather offered were many. Industrialists, entrepreneurs in the leather field in our country are competing with developed European countries. Yet they were exporting to the same countries since their products were on a par in terms of quality and time deliverance. My time spent in CLRI cannot be calculated in any form. It's a priceless. That guiding hands behind my success deserve ornamental decoration. I was like a rock, solid, firm, and unshaped. The scientists and the technical personnel at CLRI were able to carve out a sculpture out of me. I have no words to express my sincere gratitude to such an institute that has shaped my career from rags to riches. My entry into the leather industry was not as easy as I had imagined. The modern technology and innovative skills I had learned in CLRI was up against time and tested experienced manufacturing techniques in the industry. However, the lessons I learned from CLRI about resolution helped in the implementing the latest, how it provides improvements. Joining a promising enterprise, my first step had to bigger strides. Eventually, after more than 2 decades, I can say with pride, I have played a small part in taking the leather and leather product industry in India to new level. Setting higher standards by way of quality, manpower skills, and streamlining the production, the industry is poised to grow in the right direction. Alumni from CLRI approached me for guidance, and I have been instrumental in recruiting and directing them to scale new heights in the industry. Many of my juniors who have passed out of CLRI have risen up to top positions in the management in this industry. At various level management, we would often meet up and discuss the issue that industry was facing, how we can offer solutions. Leather and leather products industry very important for employment generation and thereby bring about the inclusive growth of the country. With the Prime Minister's emphasis on Atmanirbhar Bharat, it's people like us in the management along with institutions such as CLRI who will fulfill those expectations. Think leather, think CLRI, think India. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your journey and experience with CLRI and how you have obtained this position, all your journey from starting from CLRI. So our next speaker for today's session is Shri Habib Hussain, who is the chairman of the Research Council of CSIR-CLRI and CEO of A.V. Thomas Leathers. He was also the former chairman for Leather Sector Skill Council. May I now request Habib Hussain ji to deliver his talk for the session today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all the distinguished panelists. It's a privilege to be on this panel. The CLRI has been the backbone of this industry since its inception. It has handheld, nursed, grown this industry to what it is today. And I think the industry proudly employs about 4.5 million people, most of them women. And a large part of this has been due to the knowledge and the vision that has been provided by various leaders in CLRI, Dr. Nayaduma, Professor Das, Mr. Santapa, Dr. T. Ramaswamy, Dr. Tyagarajan, Dr. Raghavan. I've had the pleasure of interacting with the last 5 of them, and they have been a great source of knowledge for me. I am not from a leather family. A.V. Thomas is not a leather company in any way. We got into the leather business willy-nilly. I am an electronics engineer and a systems and software professional. We had our Mrs. Thomas, who was the chairperson's wife. She was the chairperson of the YWCA. She wanted to employ some destitute women. And she employed about 15 of them. And that's how our business in leather goods started. It had no profit motive. It had no nothing. It was just a purely social motive. So from those 15 now, it's grown to almost 6,000 people, making a wide range of products. It's now purely business. Whatever social work we do is off from the proceeds of the business. And our growth has been, we didn't expect to be what we are, in the leather business today. When I got into the business and took it over as an entrepreneur come professional manager, I couldn't make out a sheepskin from a cow hide, bovine from ovine. That was not my skill. I was a carnivore. I enjoyed tasting everything, but I didn't know anything about leather. But having said that, leather has been a very rewarding area for me. It has given me a lot of satisfaction. We have vertically integrated ourselves from being just a product maker, going backwards. We are now tanning our leather, we're finishing our leather, we design products. We have very close links with NIFT and FTDI and CFTI. Dr. Murli is here. So it has been a very rewarding experience. And the industry has also given me the benefit of being, they've made me the chairman for the Council for Leather. I've been the chairman for CII for leather, and on the board of National Institute of Design. So these kind of exposures have shaped my thought process. That's all I'm trying to say. And I think we are just scratching at the surface of the potential that this industry has. CLRI doesn't need any references, we've done enormous work in zero wastewater discharge, smart leathers, composting for agriculture, high value collagens, skilling of artisans, thousands of them, over 10,000 of them, professional training, BTECs, MTECs, and a global presence in the leather field. I think today is by far and away the premier leather research institute in the world, bar none. Now, coming to today's thing, I think I happened to go through a document which I came across in preparation for what I'm going to speak, which was a CSIR 2022. It must have been authored by my old friend Dr. T. Ramaswamy, and and some of the things were there are still relevant today, but in a different context. You see, the post-COVID world. Let's think that COVID is behind us and it's addressed, and at some point or the other in the very near future, everyone's going to get vaccinated, and that's past us. In the post-COVID world, I think there is a reset button that needs to be pressed. And that reset button also means a lot of the old paradigms don't hold anymore. There'll be a brand new set of paradigms. And in that, the headings that was there in that vision statement, striving for global scientific leadership, catalyze to be a catalytic and innovation driver, to nurture transdisciplinary leadership, and to enable inclusive economic development. These are so relevant today in an entirely different concept, in an entirely different context also. But there it was going within a certain, we knew what we had to grow in. Like productivity was a major target in those days, skilling, upskilling, productivity. I think the government of India in those days also, they had done a target. We had estimated a skill gap of 500 million people. And NSDC was created. I was a founding director till last year on that NSDC board. But we have come a long way in the design and innovation field. Our youth today, from all these institutes, whether it's FTDI, NIFT or anything, they are second to none, and their work is seriously taken by brands, Hilfiger, Guess, Coach, I can name a whole lot of them. But so design leadership, it has to be married along with the production and productivity. But I think the global leadership must first of all come in social and environmental leadership. I think CLRI already has done a lot of work in cleaning up the lakes in some areas. And I think this is a challenge for Dr. Sriram and his team. I think the biggest impact we can make as an institute and as a community is, for instance, taking the leadership role in the cleaning up of the Ganges, cleaning up of various waterways, because you have the technology, you have the knowledge base to do this. And this, I think the whole aim is to build the nation as well as to attract the best talent. It's not just leather that we are talking about. Leather, today you've got the scientific base to do just about anything. See, you need to have a matrix-based learning system instead of a pyramid-based learning and a teaching system. Globally sourced knowledge and impart it to all these people, and then measure what matters. Measure your scientific output. Make it relevant to make it performance related. Make it relevant to what is required. And I think the best way to do this is to set strategic goals for ourselves. What should we be doing as an industry? I think what we could do is straight away say, have an ambitious goal. In the next 10 years, we're going to employ 1 million more people. And CLRI, CFTI, all these institutes, I've worked very closely with them. I know what they're capable of. They've done most of the standard operating procedures. They've done most of the curriculum for skilling. Over 500,000 people in the last few years. And I've been associated with Dr. Swarnakant, and Dr. Sriram, Dr. Madan, and Mr. Murli in CFTI, all these things. So employ 1 million people, and not at minimum wage levels, and target to skill them to you get 15% higher than the minimum wage levels. So that could be a target. Cutting edge systems, with disruptive thoughts. See, it is Mr. Suresh Babu made a very relevant point when he got into the industry. He got in with a lot of aspirations, but he was stuck against a wall of traditionalism and things like that. To some extent, Mr. Suresh Babu, that wall still exists. I've had the privilege of working with my right hand and left hand are two Babus, Raj Babu and Ramesh Babu. And but this embracing change is critical, and that is not easy to come by. The world has changed. We need to get digitized factories which are catering to B2C platforms like Amazon, people like that. The same brands are having almost half their products sold on these platforms. So those days of sitting, for waiting for orders of 25,000 pairs of shoes, 50,000 wallets, belts, all those things, those days are not going to come back anymore. It is going to be an Amazon or something like that driven platform which says supply so many pieces here, so many pieces there. So I think digitization, blockchain thoughts, all these kind of things. I'm 68 years old and I'm struggling to cram these things in at this stage. But I think India is a knowledge leader in these areas. If you see the heads of lot of the major institutions in the West on these thought process industries, among the popular people like Mr. Sundar Pichai and the other Microsoft gentlemen, those are the there are many of them who are all Indians. And we are a knowledge base. CLRI is an institute. This kind of thing digitization has to come in. Now, you see, just doing the old thing of upskilling and that itself, there is resistance. Okay. But doing it the proper way, I think what COVID has done is reset. You don't have to do the learning curve from the bottom up. You can start right there, because this part of the curve doesn't exist anymore. So the environment, you've got to go green. And CLRI has got to define carbon footprints, measure carbon footprints, zero carbon footprints, and transparency in our operations. It literally I'm trying my best in my own, it's a passion for me in my finishing unit. I'm trying to grow an organic garden around that finishing unit. So I wouldn't want anyone to come from outside and say that, you're polluting. We can tell you what, we are polluting or not. I think I have a couple of minutes more. So, so innovation, assume a global leadership position. We don't need to be followers anymore. We don't need to just be contract manufacturers anymore. We need to leverage the strength of the brands, but aspire to be a global leader and be a partner in those brands, partner leadership, So this paradigm shifts in thoughts, has something that we have to, inculcate in our thought process, think like leaders, think like winners, and make it happen. And has to be a value and ethos-based leadership. I'd like to end with a thought that was given in the CSIR document, a quote from Swami Vivekananda: "Stand up, be bold, be strong. Take the whole responsibility on your shoulders and know that you are the creator of your own destiny." I found that extremely inspiring, as I found everything else that Swami Vivekananda has written. I think I'd like this leather industry should not be viewed in the context of a sunset industry. It is a part of the global fashion trade. It's a part of the global apparel industry. There's a lot of science. I think we put ourselves into silos, beginning with Ministry of Science and Technology, Ministry of Commerce, which my industry comes under, and Ministry of Textiles. It is all an interdisciplinary thing. And CSIR is the only institution that can make that happen. And we have some original thinkers here. Dr. Sriram, in the years that I have known him, he can only think out of the box. And he has been mentored by his predecessor, Dr. Ramaswamy, he's the original out-of-the-box thinker. And it's been a privilege to be at this conference and at this webinar. I'd be happy to take questions at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for informing us about your association with leather and leather production and industries, despite being an electronics engineer, and also informing us about CSIR-CLRI's contribution in leather and beyond leather. Also, for setting a target for CSIR-CLRI in being a global leader in future. So thank you so much. Our next speaker in this session is Mrs. Khyati Nair, who is handling leather department of Gujarat Rural Industrial Marketing Corporation, which caters to the rural regions by providing them better opportunities and making them self-sustainable. So looking forward for your talk, Mrs. Khyati Nair. Over to you, please.
Thank you, Dr. Shikhar. A very warm welcome to the eminent speakers over here. My name is Khyati Nair. Basically, I'm a company secretary and has been handled this portfolio of manager leather. Just like Habib sir, I'm a bit, it's not in my area, but still I'm enjoying it. And I'd like to speak about my organization first. What is GRIMCO? It is Gujarat Rural Industries Marketing Corporation Limited. We are basically focusing on rural sectors much. It has been incorporated under the Companies Act 1956, and it was born on 17th May 1979. So it has been 41 years, and I'm very happy to say that CLRI is associated with us for more than 30 years. So it's a very long association with CLRI, and I really wish them all the best for the 80 years to come. And about my corporation, the main objectives of my corporation is we procure toolkits and provide it to various DIC, that is district offices throughout the state of Gujarat. There are various schemes for which we are implementing those kits. It is Manav Kalyan, Manav Garima scheme, Vidwa Sahaya scheme. Those are government schemes. The second portfolio is we are procuring and providing bicycles to the rural schools for girl children. That is under Saraswati Sadhana scheme. The third portfolio is regarding renovation of government offices. And since Gujarat State Leather Development Corporation was merged with Grimco in the year 2001, this training portfolio has been undertaken with the help of CLRI throughout the Gujarat state, and Grimco is doing such an activity. Regarding the training, I would like to say that throughout the year, all the classes are being organized. We are giving training under natural fiber article making, leather, resin articles, and CLRI is giving training to nearly 400 artisans throughout the state. Basically, they are women to whom we are catering to their needs. And it is a unique project because we are giving the training at the doorsteps, because women cannot come out of their house, they cannot leave their children and go out for employment. So by virtue of this training, they are being able to make products and they can sell in their nearby areas and earn their livelihood. After the completion of training, we give them the certificate, Grimco as well as CLRI, and it has got a huge importance. So this helps them in obtaining bank loans for their small startups. So in a way, it is contributing a lot to them. We also give them kits, sewing machines, so that they can further enhance their skills. And it is not just giving training. We are trying to see to it that they are self-employed. The other things that I would like to say, that few success stories are there. Just one or two I would like to share. We are having one village in Vadinar district. Vadinar is a village in Devbhumi Dwarka district, wherein we had given CLRI leather training, and now they have formed a group of women. They have got together. They are making goods, leather products, and they are selling it to the exhibitions and all that is organized in the nearby areas. Then major trainings are being conducted in the Kutch district of Gujarat, because Kutch, everyone knows that they have got their traditional products, they have got embroidery, which is very unique. And so there is one village, Sumbrasar. Over there, we have given trainings to the women, and they do the work, and then they take it to the exhibitions that are carried out all over India through Index C. That is also one of our organization under Industries and Mines Department. And there is also Reliance Industries over there. They are also purchasing from these women. Then many purchasers are there. They purchase from these women and then sell it on Amazon and Flipkart. So there is a huge market in this area, in this Kutch district. The second village that I'd like to point is Hudko. Hudko is basically known for Ran Utsav. Ran Utsav is held by Gujarat Tourism. And in that Ran Utsav, these women, we had given them training. They are making their products and selling it to the stalls that are allotted by the government. So in a way, these trainings have benefited to a lot of women. These are just a few success stories that I would like to share on this platform today. And since past many years, CLRI has always been very helpful to us in carrying out these activities, and they have given a lot of support, and I really wish them all the luck for the future to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your talk and informing us about Grimco and the relation and coordination with CSIR-CLRI. These certified training programs that you mentioned are definitely a good program for upliftment of women and a great initiative towards the society. So my wishes with you, and thank you so much again. Let us move forward. Our next speaker is joining with us from Kenya, Dr. P.V. Sambha Sivarao, who is the Managing Director of Alpha Rama Limited, one of the modern tanneries in Kenya. He is a distinguished alumni of AC Tech and did his BTech in leather technology program at CSIR-CLRI. He is a recipient of highest civilian award of Kenya, which is Elder of the Order of the Golden Heart for the social and economic development in Kenya. He is also a recipient of prestigious Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award from the Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind ji. So he has a long relation with CLRI. So with this, may I now request Dr. Sambha Sivarao to please deliver his talk.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to share my slides, and I think if you allow me to share my sharing option, if you allow me to do that.
So
if you can, can you see my slides now?
Yeah, slides are visible. Please go to presentation mode.
One second. Okay, or can you play for me otherwise? Because it is appearing on my screen. Share mode, is here.
But the slides
I can
are
see
not...
your screen.
So we can see the slides. Yeah, but it's not in presentation mode.
Yeah, so you can click the slideshow mode, which is in the bottom.
Slideshow mode, yes.
Which is in the bottom, just below, sir, below. Yeah, onto your right.
Slideshow.
Next, onto your right. One more. Yeah. Next one.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it has come.
Okay. Right. So thank you. First of all, good afternoon. Dr. Shekhar, the Director General of CSIR, and Dr. Sriram, and also distinguished all my panelists today, on this webinar. All protocols observed. Good afternoon. And it's nice and wonderful, very unique program. And I thank you for this wonderful introduction by Dr. Shekhar. And greetings from Kenya and Africa. Thank you for this invitation and making it a global event. I would like to congratulate CSIR, for the 80 years of success story. Well, I have a great relation, with the CSIR and CLRI. I have known CLRI for 50 years since I was a child, because I grew up in the campus of CLRI. My uncle, Dr. Naidama, was the director of CLRI. Then later on, he became the Director General of CSIR during Mrs. Gandhi's time. And my father, I can proudly say that he was a scientist at CLRI. So I grew up in the scientists around me right from my childhood. So I know how CLRI has grown in the last 50 years. I know each and every room or each and every building in CLRI. And I'm really proud to be associated, in the leather sector from my father, from myself, and my son, who's now also joined the leather industry. And for me, CLRI is a divine shrine for me. I was fortunate. I was being trained, at CLRI through AC Tech on my BTech and MTech, and spent 7 years of my life in this prestigious institute. Fortunate to work with my professor, who was my guide, Dr. Ramaswamy, and so many other scientists, including Dr. Shantapa, and also all other wonderful people with whom we used to work in the tannery. I think we are fortunate, and this is the base and strong base that I have developed, which is made what I am today. Now, coming back to as many of you said, the contribution of CLRI in the education system, in creating skill development, in creating relations with the industry cannot be measured. There is no value we can put it. They have contributed to the Indian and international economy. And today, we really would like to see CLRI at a global level, because probably there is no institute, because of my experience around the world, I have seen that there is no other institute in the world which can replace CLRI. Now CLRI need to move out of India and have it as a global institute, because you are capable in the research, in transfer of technology, in skill development. As you all know that, the shift in the global business is very, very, very rapid. It used to be, leather business used to be in the West Africa, in the West in 1950s, moved to the East, and then nowadays everybody in the world, be it China or Europe or USA, they're all looking at Africa. So I really feel that there is a huge potential. As much as you are doing in India, you need to do in Africa. During our Prime Minister Modi ji visit since 2016 to Africa, Prime Minister Modi said, Africa is the priority, is on the top of the agenda for India for the global business relationship. My organization, which is called Alpha Rama Limited, we also have the businesses in the other countries in East Africa. We can proudly say that we have built the capacity to produce 120 million square foot of leather per year. Probably this is one of the biggest tannery in Africa. And we are able to do this because we have able to get the technical people from our own institute trained by CLRI constantly for the last 20 years. We have invested in the environment, we have invested in technology and machinery, and today we are one of the LWG Gold audited company in Africa. Certainly, we have followed what we call it as a 3S. We have built the scale of operations. That means right from the raw material to the production capacity. We have speed to deliver any quantity of leather, be it wet blue, crust, or finished leather for domestic and international market. Then finally, the skill development. Our students from AC Tech on CLRI were able to come in, and our institute, our company every year is engaging at least 3 new fresh BTech students under the training program. And in the last 5 years, we are so successful. Some of them turned out to be an excellent students and excellent managers in our organization. We today, our organization, are also creating a brand in Africa. We believe very strongly that in stuff like, our brother Hussein's Habib is mentioning that we are don't want to be a contract manufacturer for other brands. We feel that we should create our own brand. As you all know, Africa is rising. So we are creating our brand. We started our footwear and leather goods manufacturing, but we need a strong partnerships from India, from our own people who are capable of coming and investing, because each and every country in Africa are looking for partnerships. So there are 3 beautiful things is available in Africa, which I'm going to show you why Africa is so important. One is we have the raw materials. Number 2, we have the skill, in the sense we have the manpower. Number 3, we have the market in Africa. So CLRI has to play a bigger role. And if I remember last time, our Honorable Prime Finance Minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, visited as a trade minister to Kenya. I was fortunate to have at least 40 minutes, talk with her on the trade. And she said that it is important that CSIR and CLRI should work very closely to develop the leather sector in Africa and especially in Kenya. So the government of Kenya is very keen to collaborate. We are willing, and we have a beautiful High Commission, offices which are ready. Now the ball is in the court of CLRI and CSIR. Now I just like to start now my slides why Africa is so important. To understand why we are the greatest continent for the leather industry. Now, if you see here on the screen, in Asia and Africa, the economically the dynamic regions. If you see here, Asia, we have 5%, 5.7% of the GDP. Sub-Saharan Africa is 4.5. So we are following Asia, and these figures are changing every day. We feel that Sub-Saharan Africa is going to beat many countries because of the raw material, because of the growing population, because of the market size. Here, if you see that out of the 20 fastest growing economies in the world, 10 are in Africa. That is, one is in Ethiopia, Ghana, we have Rwanda, we have Nigeria, we have Zambia, and we have finally Niger and Uganda. And these things are changing so rapidly that we are going to occupy a majority of the fastest growing economies in the world very soon. And Africa is rising. Why? The key drivers are demographic dividend. We have excellent labor force, which is affordable labor force. We have a market, and also a lot of reforms are happening in Africa. The governance of the countries are changing. The economies are changing. So this is why the whole world is looking at Africa. Now, if you come and see what is happening, what is going to happen in Africa population growth. In 1950, the Africa had only 9% of the world population. Now it has gone up to 16% as we speak, and it will increase to 25% by 2050. So we are expecting by 2050, Africa will have 26% of the world population. That means it will be approximately 2.4 billion people in 52 countries. You cannot imagine that what is the size of manufacturing, what is the size of services required. We are really at the bottom level as we speak, and we have only around 30 years to catch up these gaps. So this is what I would like our Indian brothers and sisters and the organization and the CLRI to look at it. The next one is everybody is afraid of Africa because they say there is no security, safety and all. But this is changing. Today, if you see, every day there's a new company of Chinese companies landing in Africa. Europe is looking at Africa again once more. USA is looking at it. And our Prime Minister wants the Indians to look at Africa. You can see that African democracies compared to 1960s and today in 2020, it is really more and more countries are becoming democratic. African leaders who used to hold on to powers, they are now exiting after their period. For example, in Kenya, our president, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, after the 2 terms, is going to leave his office in 2022. Our previous president has done the same thing. So there is so much of transparency in Africa. Now, becoming the greatest opportunity, some of them here, I would like to just think about it. The rapid urbanization, so you will see in the next slide that there is a lot of consumers and properties, business, which is thriving. Infrastructure deficit is huge, $93 billion per year. This is an African Development Bank estimate. And every year we have a requirement of $38 billion of investment. and also $37 billion on operational maintenance of the infrastructure. Agriculture business is one of the biggest in Africa because we have 40% of the world's unutilized agricultural land. And as you know that food and beverages market is projected to be going up, by 2030 from $330 million to $1 billion. Technology, emerging leaders in mobile services. I think most of you know that mobile transfer of money through mobiles was found in Kenya, and they are now the global leaders. In Kenya today, 100% of the people transferring money, not through the banks, but through the mobile. So the adoption of technology is the highest level in the world. Now, this is what I was telling you, the rapid urbanization. You can see that all the capitals of different countries, Nigeria, Kinshasa, we have Addis Ababa, Nairobi, Lunda in Angola, Khartoum, and Joburg. So as you all know that as the urbanization is taking place, there is a big potential for our fashion goods, for our materials. Coming back to mobile connectivity and penetration of the technology is in sub-Saharan Africa is growing so rapidly. You can see that from 2000 to 2016, and now today we are at 100%. The growth is fantastic. And you can see on the right side how the African countries are making it to happen. Now coming back to these are the technological hubs in sub-Saharan Africa. I think, Mr. Habib was mentioning that the way in which the business is going to be done is going to change. 1 month back, not even 1 month, 3 weeks back, our president, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, had a very long chat with the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, asking him now how he can help Kenya in marketing the SME products through online international platform. He said very beautifully, yes, we are all using your products, but what are you helping us? We want Google economically to empower our people. And a president taking on to CEO directly and doing, that is the willingness, that is what we are all going to see very soon. Now, if you come back to leather industry, these are some of the figures I was able to capture. Out of the $100 billion business annual trade, which might have gone up a little bit less during COVID, but I always believe leather business will remain. 20% of the global livestock is in Africa. This is our greatest asset. And if you see the leather production, if you see that 29% China, India is at 8%, but Africa is only 4% because we are not adding value. Our value addition in Africa is only 3.3%, whereas we have 20% of the global livestock. So we are expecting to have a $30 billion business, but we are nowhere near. So this is what we all have to look at as a potential in Africa. Coming back, these are the figures. We see that Kenya alone is requiring between 34 to 36 million pairs of shoes, whether it is a combination of textile, plastic, and leather. There is a huge potential of the business here. We can see that the value, the loss to Kenya on importation is around $530 million, only in Kenya alone. So this is where you all can come and capitalize. We need a job creation. This is where we need CLRI. Of course, we are going to come back to you through the Foreign Affairs Ministry, and we want you to come in very quickly, Dr. Sriram. Coming back to, this is what we are expecting in Kenya to create jobs, 44,000 jobs before 2030. And looking at Africa, this is where is a beautiful, estimate. These are I would say a perfect estimations. Today, if we go in what we are doing, we can only make 150 million pairs of shoes. But by 2030, the projections is expected to be 2 billion, because even in every person wears a pair, whether it is a plastic or a cloth based or a textile based or leather based, we have 2 billion pairs. So I am expecting that our leather share should be 30% of that. So we are talking about 600 million pairs by 2030. This is what each and every country. And now, like in European Union, Africa also has a common market now. All the 52 countries having a common customs tariff. So if you produce in one country, we can freely trade throughout 52 countries of Africa. And this is where I'm very keen, and I would like CLRI to involve very strongly in Africa. Many graduates are really from CLRI, working as managers in leather and leather products manufacturing facilities. They are more into leather industry, but in leather products or leather goods and footwear, there are very few. We want, as it is growing so rapidly, especially in Kenya, our government has put the top priority in the manufacturing sector. Leather and textiles are the top priorities are given. So we need more training here. We need more footwear and leather goods technologies to come to Africa. CLRI has done some extremely wonderful job, I know, in some of the countries, especially in Ethiopia. And in every country now you have more. I think you need to talk to every country who are very keen. You know, probably they don't know that we have a capacity. So you need to probably through all our different foreign affairs, Ministry of India, you should talk to many countries, but Kenya is coming certainly after CSIR and CLRI for a big collaboration. One thing I want to put it on record that Ethiopia, even though there is an industry, but in Ethiopia we have a restrictions on forex. We have restrictions of conducting business because the financial systems are not as open as in other African countries. So you will have a more, success at a faster rate in other countries. I mean, it doesn't mean that, Ethiopia is not doing bad, but Ethiopia is doing well. So this is one success story of CLRI in Africa. And I know that CLRI has conducted the quality improvement of the hides and skins. See, what is happening is that this is another area that right from the slaughterhouses of flaying and curing and the value addition that CLRI can handle in different countries in Africa, I estimate to be something like a $100 million improvement on raw material quality. Certainly, CLRI need to support establishing the academic skills, like now in the University of Nairobi, being, from the AC Tech, with my lot of efforts, we are able to start a leather technology 4 years course in University of Nairobi. So probably the curriculum and things can be assisted by the CLRI, and we can have a regional institutes like this, one in West Africa, one in Southern Africa, and one is in East Africa. So technology intervention is important. And I see that human resource development, that's where will be the biggest. As you all know that as you come in as a human resource development or skill development, you are bringing our investors, you are bringing confidence of the Indian investors into Africa. We want to be a global players. We don't want to be contained to our own India, but we want to be the global players. Because China, we are fighting China, so we have a goodwill because of the Indian diaspora in Africa, who are now 3 million people, so that you will be able to more easily successful than even China. The last one is the sustainable development. Only CLRI can teach all other countries. So I think finally, I thank you for this wonderful opportunity you have given us. And I think we keep interactions, we need to talk about this. We need to exchange what is good, for all of us. And as I said, in the beginning that that this is a wonderful institute, and it is for me. I love to see CLRI coming global, especially in Africa, and I'll put all my efforts and energies to link these things. So finally, thank you very much. So we are going to come and disturb you more and more, because I found some nice co-panels today. I found like Mr. Murali and how AVT success story. We want to see more AVTs. I think AVT should come to Africa. And also wonderful programs conducted in Gujarat. And these are some of the things we can replicate. And so thank you so much, and God bless CSIR and CLRI. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, you can stop sharing the slides.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank you again for showing us a global scenario and the possibility of leather advancements in countries other than India, especially in Africa, for skill development and employment creation. So your long relation with CSIR-CLRI as a kid and as a professional as well will definitely help CLRI in setting up targets to become a global leader. So thank you so much for your talk. Last speaker today for the session is Shri K. Murali, who did his MTech in Footwear Science and Engineering from Department of Leather Technology, which is Anna University, which is housed at CSIR-CLRI. He is currently the Director of Central Footwear Training Institute, Chennai, under the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. So, may I now request Shri Murali to please deliver his talk. Over to you, please.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Shika. Good afternoon, good evening, Dr. K. Sriram sir, Habib sir, Dr. Madan, Kathy Nair, Mr. Suresh Babu Yadav, and Mr. P. Sambha Sivarao. First of all, I would like to start by thanking K. Sriram, Director CLRI, and the organizing committee of this National Science Day celebration for bestowing upon me this great honor to be a speaker on this day. What is dear to me is that this honor comes to me from people of great institute, of which I am also a proud part. I am delighted to offer my felicitations to the staff of CLRI on the occasion of the National Science Day celebrations. My warm greetings and wishes to Dr. K. Sriram and his team for flying high the flag of CLRI in scientific and research domains. CLRI can justifiably look back proudly at all these years because of the innumerable and significant achievements and contributions it has rendered to the Indian leather and leather product industry. CLRI has been extremely generous to me. I'm grateful, thankful, and I acknowledge my gratitude to it. My identity is from CLRI, and I would always like to promote its greatness. Participating in this webinar today, the images of my years spent at CLRI as a student of MTech in Footwear Science and Engineering flipped into my mind as from a diary of my stay at CLRI many years ago. As a footwear technologist passing out from the portals of this great institute, we were taught that our major commitment is to serve our country, and we have to contribute to it. As I took my first small steps in the industry, the confidence stemming from the knowledge gained at the hands of my revered and distinguished teachers helped me to find my own foothold in the industry. A famous author once said, in school, you are taught a lesson and then given a test. In life, you are given a test that teaches you a lesson. We can only pass this test if we have a strong foundation. The years at CLRI paid off. I could pass these tests that life posed as I graduated from being a footwear technologist, then into an entrepreneur, and finally becoming a director of Central Footwear Training Institute, Chennai, from Ministry of MSME. Today I am here to celebrate my success in overcoming that test that life gave me, thanks to the grounding I received at CLRI, which equipped me with almost all the things I would need to be able to survive the new chapters in my life. CLRI is unique among the CSIR family in many respects. CLRI jointly with Anna University imparts education in leather and leather products technology, living to the leather industry being manned largely by CLRI alumni. They have led the transformation of the leather industry from an exporter of raw materials to an exporter of sophisticated value-added footwear, leather goods, garments, and a large export earner for the country. CLRI's research activities in basic and applied research have led to major contributions. And I would like to salute the dynamic leadership, commitment to excellence, and the symbiotic relationship between academia, research, and industry. They have rightly earned for the Central Leather Research Institute the reputation as a crown jewel among the CSIR family of laboratories. The leather industry works hand in hand with the CLRI for adoption of latest technologies to upgrade their outputs in meeting with the expectations of the industry. This synergistic relationship has made this sector very vibrant and with a strong foothold in the global leather arena. CLRI has also been a well-wisher of CFTI. The partnership between CLRI and CFTI is very vibrant, enriched, and mutually beneficial. This enduring relationship is an example for the country to emulate, and together we are all reliable partners in the progress of Indian leather product sector. As you are aware, that CFTI Chennai has carved a niche for training and making industry-ready footwear professionals. Over the last many decades, in its quest to always maintain and remain ahead of the curve and to equip its students with the latest developments in technology, management practices, market knowledge, quality, and standardization. CFTI has raised its benchmarks to meet the global market demands and global performance benchmarks. The students who graduate out of CFTI are equipped with the most advanced knowledge as well as hands-on exposure to the latest technological developments, which sharpens their skills and enables them to help the industry march forward as they pursue their careers in the industry. Also, CFTI conducts many industry-approved long-term and short-term courses in footwear and allied sector, sponsored by various ministries, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Ministry of our own, MSME, in primary as well as on secondary. For the last many years, we have been trained around thousands and thousands of students. Say for 2019-20, we have trained about nearly 15,000 candidates in the area of a primary and in the area of a secondary accreditation training program. CFTI also conducts similar program at various places of Tamil Nadu under the sponsorship of Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. Around 1,300 trainees have been benefited, trained, and we have given a placement to the placement ratio of nearly 85 to 95% out of our total trainings. In addition to it, 80 minority community trainees have been trained by CFTI through skill training programs at Ambur and Vaniambadi with the sponsorship of Tamil Nadu Minority Economic Development Corporation Limited. Outreach skill training programs have also been conducted for the welfare of unemployed rural SC/ST candidates sponsored under SC/ST tuition fee reimbursement scheme of DCMSL. This is from our own ministry, in which 552 trainees have been trained last year. As an industry outreach partner, CFTI also conducted LSSE RPL Type 4 certification and certified 2582 trainees so far during last year. CFTI is affiliated training partner of CSIR-CLRI and conducts skill training programs for SC candidates since from 2015-16 under the sponsorship of CSIR-CLRI and completed skill training for 2,200 candidates till now. And we served as a bridge between CSIR-CLRI, CLE, and Ministry of MSME in dissemination of various schemes of MSME, and also we are into dissemination of wireless probe training technology to take it to various MSMEs. CSIR-CLRI is also one of the affiliated assessment agency for us. We have completed assessment for around 1,500 candidates trained by CFTI since 2017-18. Also, CLRI is also an affiliated technical training agency for establishment of physical testing lab in CFTI. It is also a governing council member of our CFTI Chennai. It is also a member of High Powered Purchase Committee of CFTI Chennai. That's the gap that the synergy and relationship with the CSIR and CFTI is very close, and we are working together in association. CFTI has been a collaborator of CSIR-CLRI for working together in the avenues of technology deployment and translation in footwear and leather products, and we shall strive to make this bonding stronger in the years ahead. I would once again like to thank Dr. K.J. Sriram for honoring me, inviting me to be a part of today's function. I wish the National Science Day celebration of CLRI all success and pray for the continued glory of this great institute. I wish all at CSIR-CLRI a very bright, exciting and fruitful future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It was very good to know about the collaboration between two premier organizations, CSIR-CLRI and CFTI, which are primarily working on training of leather and footwear technologies. So thank you so much once again. So we are done with the speakers as of now. We will be taking few questions. We have a couple of questions from our online audience, and this forum I am keeping open for discussion among the speakers as well. So I will be taking the first question first. Let us see. Yeah, question comes as a part of diversity and inclusive employment, what are we doing to employ women in our territories? So,
Madam Nair or Mr. Habib Hussain can answer that, please.
I think half of this has been taken up during the talks itself. So we may have to request a repeat of the same talk, or maybe 2-3 minutes of that.
Can I answer, Dr. Sheikh?
Sure.
Yeah, Recently, we also, I know Dr. Sriram and Dr. Madan knows that we have invited 2 fresh, graduates of BTech students to Kenya, for a 3 months training program, for them to give them an exposure. So both of them are the ladies, the newly fresh, females. They are wonderful. They have a lot of commitment than men, certainly, and but unfortunately for so many other reasons, like for example, if you are unmarried, you come to a foreign land, one of the things is security reasons. But certainly, women empowerment, and especially we found that the 2 students who came and did a wonderful job. I think, I congratulate CLRI for training them such a wonderful things. And that too, what happened during COVID time, and they were so enthusiastic. They used to leave last in the tannery than the men. And just to tell you, we in Kenya, we are making it a formula that 30% of our each department has to be women, because we know that when the woman works, she takes the salary back to home and making it sure that the family is sustained. So certainly, I think that formula of certain percentage in each department, be it by tannery, leather goods, or leather manufacturing and all, should be put into as one of the important things. Thank you.
Just to add, we've regularly taken female graduates, and of course, in the workforce, ours is 90 to 95% females. But there is, we'd be happy to take any female graduate who wants to join us in the tannery side and the finishing side.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, please, ma'am.
Basically, Grimco is giving training to women in the rural areas, and we are into this sector, and there is employment generation. There are various self-help groups throughout the state. So these women get together, they make products, and they are reaching out to various exhibitions that are carried out throughout India at all levels. And in this way, they are coming up, and there is a lot of employment opportunity over here, and they are self-sustainable. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let us move ahead. This is a question from Dr. K. Nagahia, Chief Scientist and Head Center for Natural Product and Traditional Knowledge, CSIR IICT Hyderabad. So he is posing this question to all the speakers. Disposal of waste in conformity with environmental pollution in the leather industry, mainly like sodium chloride, sodium sulfate, calcium hydroxide, and basic chrome sulfate are effluent coming in the water dissolved in carcinogenic land in leather industry. How CLRI disposal of waste coming in leather industry? So the question exactly is how CLRI disposal of waste coming in leather industry.
Okay, I think I should answer this question on behalf of everyone. First of all those chemicals which was mentioned there are not carcinogenic is the first answer. It's a very wrong perception that leather industry is associated with carcinogens. We were associated with the azo dyes about 3 decades back, but leather industry in India and elsewhere have actually, as per the latest reports, not been using any carcinogens in their production systems at all. With respect to the environmental management systems, the leather industry in India has been adopting what is called as a common effluent treatment plant concepts, which are very, very successful in ensuring that the industry meets the norms set by the pollution control boards of the state. Therefore, Government of India has also been giving lot of modernization grants for such CTPs. They are one of the best globally benchmarked treatment systems that you have in this world. And 99.99% of all those systems are well within the norms set by the pollution control board agencies. Moving on from there, the industries in Tamil Nadu have what is called as a zero liquid discharge concept, mandatorily made, and this is also being propagated now in other parts of the country. Recently, West Bengal has immense interest in reducing its total dissolved solid content from the wastewaters of the leather industry. In-house management such as enzymes replacing sodium sulfide or lime is slowly getting picked up in the industry. There are a large number of industries today who are using enzymatic processes. We have a path-breaking technology on waterless chrome tanning, which has been implemented in about 100 tanneries in this country, wherein there's no water being used for that particular operation. And therefore, it is a myth, I would say, that leather industry is still polluting. I think that terminology needs to go out. Industry has gone out of those systems. Broadly, we must say that sustainable production, which is environment, economics, and social benefit out of this industry is what is the goal of this industry today. So I would certainly tell everyone that what you said just now as a comment of this thing is about 10 to 15 years behind story. In general, leather industry is as green as any other industry that's there in the world today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, so I think we are at the end of the session today. So it was great listening to all the panelists today and was really fascinating to know about the scientific and social contributions of CLRI towards the society and upliftment of women, especially in leather industries for providing jobs, employment, and skill development. So before we end, I would like to invite Director CLRI, Dr. Sriram, for delivering the closing remarks and vote of thanks for the session. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shika. Unfortunately, Dr. Mande had to go for an emergent meeting with some minister, therefore was not here with us today. Before I close, let me bring to the notice of all those who are watching here two recent statements that were made by the people who govern this country. The Minister for Science and Technology, Government of India, when he was here visiting CLRI a few days back, said that this institution had met its mandate of turning raw hides and skins into value-added products and also taking care of the needs of footwear of this country. This was something which, in the very early stages, Mahatma Gandhi had said that we require the intelligentsia to convert the hides and skins into leather and leather products. And the institute, the CSIR organization, has done according to its mandate. This came from the very Minister of Science and Technology, Government of India. Some time back, the Parliamentary Committee on Science and Technology, while evaluating the progress of this institute, also said that this is not a scientific body, but more of a social scientific body, wherein not only is the technology taken care of, but also the employment is also taken care of. It is such a great honor for an organization to be involved, not just in giving the technology that is required for a country, but also providing it with manpower and also the social empowerment that comes with it. So these are things that CSIR, through its Central Leather Research Institute, has done. And we hope that CSIR, through CLRI, would continue to grow and contribute, not just for India, but also elsewhere in the world. To all the speakers who had been here, they are just a glimpse of the group of people who would vouch for the contributions that Institute has made. We, for the time, had to restrict ourselves to 6 participants, and I'm thankful to all of them who readily agreed to be with us and speak their hearts out in spite of their busy schedules on the day. I thank each one of them, and I look forward to their enabling support in the years to come for this institute. As was said at the time in which it was formed, a motto was there. It said, doing better today than yesterday forever. And I suppose CLRI would continue to do work to the justice of its motto in the future as well. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.